Title: Singapore 1960 versus 2025. You won't believe this transformation. Intro: If you look at Singapore today, you'll see a futuristic metropolis. It's one of the wealthiest nations on Earth, where gleaming skyscrapers pierce the clouds and lush greenery carpets the city. Its GDP per capita is among the highest in the world. A global hub for finance, technology, and innovation that's consistently ranked as one of the most competitive economies on the planet. But what if I told you that just one lifetime ago, it looked completely, and I mean times completely asterisk, different? Hook. What if I told you that this glittering city-state was once a small, struggling island with a GDP per capita of only about $428 in 1960? How did a tiny, resource-poor island with no real army, no significant industry, and deep social divisions pull off one of the most incredible transformations in modern history? How did it go from a third-world outpost to a first-world powerhouse in just over 60 years? Well, stick around, because the story is nothing short of a miracle. Section 1. The problem: a nation on the brink. To understand the miracle, you first have to understand the crisis. When Singapore was expelled from Malaysia and gained its unwilling independence in 1965, its future looked bleak. It was a tiny island nation, smaller than New York City, with zero natural resources. No oil, no diamonds, no vast farmland. Its only real resource was its people, but even that was a source of tension, with a diverse population on the brink of racial strife and social unrest. The most pressing and visible problem? Housing. The Singapore of the early 1960s was a world of crowded, unhygienic squatter settlements. In fact, at the start of the decade, a mere 9% of the population lived in any form of public housing. The rest were packed into conditions that were unsanitary and unsafe. On top of that, unemployment was dangerously high, and with a planned British military withdrawal on the horizon, the country was about to lose over 20% of its jobs. The situation was so dire that many international experts predicted the nation would simply collapse. So, how did they pull it off? It started with a bold vision and a relentless focus on solving the most basic problems first. Section 2. Pillar 1. A home for everyone. Before you can build a nation, you have to house its people. That was the core belief of Singapore's early leaders, led by its first Prime Minister, Lee Kuan Yew. In 1960, even before independence, they established the Housing and Development Board, HDB, with a single monumental task: solve the housing crisis. The scale of their ambition was breathtaking. The HDB didn't just plan to build houses, it aimed to build entire communities from the ground up, and it moved at lightning speed. Within its first 3 years, it had built over 21,000 flats, and by the end of the 1960 seconds, that number was over 50,000. But this wasn't just about putting roofs over people's heads. It was a form of social engineering. The government introduced the Ethnic Integration Policy, ensuring a balanced mix of different ethnic groups in every housing block, which encouraged communities to live together, interact, and build a shared national identity. They didn't just build apartments, they built hawker centers, schools, and parks, creating the vibrant, self-contained towns that define Singapore today. The results are simply staggering. Today, over 80% of Singaporeans live in these high-quality HDB apartments. And thanks to unique savings schemes and government support, the home ownership rate in 2024 stood at a world-leading 90.8%. By solving the housing crisis, Singapore gave its citizens a tangible stake in the country's success. It gave them an asset, a home, and a reason to believe in the future. Section 3. Pillar 2. Building a global economic hub. With the housing problem on its way to being solved, Singapore turned to its next impossible challenge: creating an economy out of thin air. With no domestic market to speak of, the leadership knew they had to look outwards. Their strategy was brutally pragmatic: turned Singapore's biggest weakness, its small size, into its greatest strength. They would become a gateway to the world. The government established the Jurong Industrial Estate on what was then swampland, creating the infrastructure for factories and manufacturing. They actively courted multinational corporations from America, Europe, and Japan, offering them political stability, low taxes, a corruption-free environment, and a hard-working labor force. It was a masterclass in economic planning. As the world evolved, so did Singapore. From basic manufacturing in the 70s, it climbed the value chain into advanced electronics, then into finance, becoming the Switzerland of Asia. Today, it's a powerhouse in technology, biotech, and research. This relentless evolution is reflected in the numbers. That GDP per capita of around $428 in 1960 is projected to be as high as $94,000 nominal to $156,000 PPP by 2025. The country is one of the most open and pro-business places in the world, and in the 2024 Global Innovation Index, it ranked 4th globally. This wasn't an accident. It was a deliberate, decades-long strategy to make a small island indispensable to the global economy. CTA. If you're finding this story of human ingenuity and long-term vision inspiring, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. We explore incredible transformations like this every week, and we'd love to have you with us. Section 4. Pillar 3. Investing in its people. Singapore's leaders knew their only real resource was their people, but a resource is only valuable if you invest in it. From the very beginning, education became a national obsession. The government poured resources into building a world-class education system designed to produce a skilled, adaptable, and disciplined workforce that could meet the demands of the global companies they were courting. The focus was on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, the very skills needed to power their economic evolution. English was made the common language for business and government, ensuring Singaporeans could operate seamlessly on the international stage. This investment has paid off spectacularly. Today, Singapore's students are some of the highest performing in the world in international rankings for math and science. Its universities, like the National University of Singapore and Nanyang Technological University, are consistently ranked among the world's best, attracting talent from every corner of the globe. This focus on human capital is a core reason why Singapore ranks second globally for human capital and research. By investing in its people, Singapore created a virtuous cycle. A better educated population attracted higher value industries, which created better jobs and a higher standard of living for everyone. Section 5. Pillar 4. A city in a garden. As Singapore rapidly industrialized, its leaders faced a choice: become another soulless concrete jungle or create something entirely new. Lee Kuan Yew famously declared he wanted to transform Singapore from a garden city into a city in a garden, a vision that started way back in the 1960 seconds. This wasn't just a nice to have, it was a core part of their economic strategy. They believed a clean, green environment wouldn't just improve the quality of life for citizens, but also make Singapore a more attractive place for top global talent and investment. Tree planting campaigns became a national movement, and strict laws against littering and pollution created the clean, orderly city it's famous for. Today, that vision is a breathtaking reality. Nearly half of the city is covered in green spaces, from the iconic super tree grove at Gardens by the Bay to the lush rooftop gardens on HDB blocks. Nature is woven into the fabric of the urban landscape, and the ambition keeps growing. The Singapore Green Plan 2030 is a roadmap for the future, aiming to plant 1 million more trees and push for green buildings. This commitment to sustainability is all part of a bold pledge to achieve net zero emissions by or around the middle of the century. Payoff. The modern marvels. When you put all these pillars together, you get the Singapore of 2025. You get Changi Airport, consistently voted the world's best, which is already planning its massive Terminal 5 expansion. You get one of the world's most efficient public transport systems, with a goal to expand its rail network to 360 kilometers by the 2030 seconds. You get the Tua's Megaport, a next-generation port that will be the largest fully automated terminal in the world once completed. And you get that iconic skyline, a testament to a nation's ambition, soon to be enhanced by a multi-billion-dollar expansion to the Marina Bay Sands Resort. This is a city where smart traffic systems reduce congestion and where massive new construction projects, like the Cross Island Line, are tunneling deep beneath the surface to connect the island even more seamlessly. This is the unbelievable payoff of 60 years of relentless planning and execution. Conclusion. So, how did a tiny island with nothing transform into one of the world's most successful nations? It wasn't a single magic bullet. It was a combination of ingredients, applied with unwavering consistency for 6 decades. It was visionary leadership that planned for the long term, not just the next election. It was a ruthless pragmatism that focused on what worked, not on ideology. It was an absolute intolerance for corruption. But most of all, it was a deep, unshakable belief in its own people. A commitment to investing in them, housing them, and building a world-class environment for them to thrive in. The story of Singapore, from 1960 to 2025, is more than just a story of economic success. It's a powerful lesson in what's possible when a nation dares to dream and then puts in the hard, disciplined work to make that dream a reality. What do you think is the most impressive part of Singapore's story? Let us know in the comments below. And for more incredible stories of transformation from around the globe, make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on. Thanks for watching.